Good morning students. Now today this is the second video lecture of the future tense. Previously I have explained in the first video lecture I have explained about simple future tense and future continuous tense. Now in this video lecture we shall discuss about future perfect tense. So let's start. Future perfect tense. First of all, let us understand that what is the future perfect tense or where we use the future perfect tense. So, the future perfect tense is used for actions that will be completed before a point of time in the future. The future perfect tense, we always use the future perfect tense for actions that will be completed before a point of time in the future. Or we can say that the future perfect tense is used to describe an event that is expected or planned to happen before a time of reference in the future. Again, the future perfect tense is used to describe an event that is expected or planned to happen before a time of reference in the future. Now students, let's see the structure of the future perfect tense. In the previous video lecture, I have explained you the structure of the simple future tense and the future continuous tense. In the same way, there is also a structure of the future perfect tense. So, first of all, affirmative form, or we can say that the positive form, how we can form the positive of the future perfect tense. Start with the subject, then will or shall. Will or shall is here the auxiliary verb, or we can say that the helping verb. Then have, then past participle form of verb means verb third form, then object. Okay, subject, will or shall, then have, then verb third form, then object. See the example. He here is the subject, will have reached Udaipur before it is morning. Okay, according to this rule we are forming this sentence. Next example, I shall have written my essay. Okay, students, always remember we use shall with I and we, and for the other subjects we use will. When the subject is I or we always use shall, and with the other subject we use will. Will have verb third form or shall have verb third form. Now negative form. How we can form the negative of the future perfect tense? This is the rule. You have to learn this rule. Start with the subject. Again will or shall according to the subject. Then not. Before have we have to use not for the negative sentences. Then not, then have, then same participle form of verb means verb third form, then object. This is the rule of the formation of negative sentences of future perfect tense. See the example here. They will not have played. Next, we shall not have read the question before Ranjan sleeps. Third one is interrogative sentences. In the previous video lectures also I have explained you about that there are the two formation of the interrogative sentences. First, yes no question form, second is WH question form. So let's start. Yes no questions always start with the helping verb. Okay, will or shall, then subject, then have, then participle form of verb, then object, then question mark. According to the subject we use will or shall. With the we and I we always use shall, and with the other subjects we use will. Okay, then have, then verb third form, then object and question mark. It is very compulsory for the interrogative sentences. WH question form. WH question we always start with the WH word. WH question always start with the WH word. Okay. See WH word, then helping verb will or shall, then subject, then have, then past participle form of verb means verb third form, then object, then question mark. These are the rules and you have to learn both the rules. Okay. Now see the example of both the rules. First, will the sun have set before Anil wakes up? Question mark. Second, see this is the yes no question form, always start with the helping verb, and this is an example of the WH question form. Like, why will your teacher have scolded you before your uncle goes? Question mark. Okay. Next, let's see the uses of the future perfect tense, where we can use the future perfect tense. First, we use future perfect tense to talk about future actions that will be finished before some specified point in the future. Means we use future perfect tense, we always use future perfect tense whenever we are talking about future actions that will be finished before some specified point in the future. See, John will have eaten. This is according to the rule. John is a singular. Here also we are using will. John will have eaten the whole cake by the time the birthday party starts. Okay. Means in this example, the action will be finished before some specified point in the future. This example declared this point. Second, to talk future tense, future perfect tense, we always use future perfect tense to talk about actions that will last after a given point in the future. See the example. By the next year, I will have known Monica for 30 years. By the next year, I will have known Monica for 30 years. This is the example. Students, some points you have to remember, that in affirmative sentences, means in the positive sentences, we use shall have with I and we. We always use shall have with I and we, and with the other subjects we use will have. Okay. And also we always use verb third form. Remember students, in the positive sentences, in the affirmative, or you can say the positive sentences, with the subject I and we use shall have, and with the other subjects we use will have, and also verb third form. Second, in the negative sentences, we use not after will or shall. Okay, we use not after will or shall. Third, you have to remember this, in the interrogative sentences, means in the question form, we always start the question with will or shall. We always start the question with will or shall when the question is the yes no question form. Okay. And when there is a question, means when the question is WH form, then we always start the question with the WH word. Okay. And also next point is, in the interrogative sentences, students, we have to use not before have. Always remember, we always use not before have in the interrogative negative sentences. Okay. And one thing is also there, in the future perfect tense, in this tense, we use some time expressions, just like by then, by that time, by the 10th, etc. For example, like, by the end of the month, we shall have started our holidays. This is an example. By the end of the month, we shall have started our holidays. So, in the future perfect tense, we always start the sentence with some time expressions. Okay. Thank you, students.